right, we are live in 2019. Mr. Olympia, Brandon Curry, here at the headquarters of the Olympia. Brandon, welcome to Arizona.
It's good to be here.
All right, getting ready to do a little one-on-one. We're going to allow some people to join in this conversation. Came in from Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
What's in the works for you? I heard this weekend something's happening in Tennessee for you.
Yeah, we're having a seminar at Carbon Culture on Saturday for all the Tennessee residents, the surrounding areas that plan on competing this summer. We have the Tennessee State Show, hopefully in August 8th in Chattanooga. So it's coming up. So we're kind of getting the athletes in the area motivated, getting them critiqued, make sure they hit the posing right, the presentation right, giving them some advice going into the final stages of preparation. So it's something we're just doing for the community, for the MPC, and we just like to see these athletes shine. We've all been experiencing a lot here lately with the quarantine, and it's just good to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about those big arms of yours. I know it's early in the morning, you haven't had time to work out, but what do you do for those arms?
Well, for me, I just keep it simple. I mean, how many ways can you do a curl? It's just what they say. And how many ways can you kind of do a tricep extension? So I kind of keep it simple. I use 3 or 4 exercises, 3 or 4 sets, and just make sure I get some blood in there, get some exhaustion. One thing I do advise against is training really, really heavy with the arms. When you're stretching the tendons and the ligaments a lot more than you're actually stretching the muscle, you're gonna run into tendonitis eventually. So for these younger guys that haven't quite run into tendonitis before, or they're running into it now and wondering why, a lot of it's from that overly excessive weight on the arm training.
Tell these guys how many exercises do you do for your arms in a day, like when you have on day?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's only 3 or 4 exercises. I keep it simple. Arms for me is not something I'm trying to really push the progress on. It's one of those things I've had naturally kind of respond very well. Overkill is something I don't believe in because you get a lot of crossover work when you're doing your chest, crossover when you're doing your back. And I don't want my arm training interfering with any of those muscle groups because it's far more important to me on the priority list.
Well, I know you normally travel alone, you get all over the world, but rarely do we see you travel with the voice of professional bodybuilding, Bob Chickarillo.
Oh,
Big Bob, welcome to the show.
Mr. Olympia champion, Brandon Curry. What's up, buddy?
Great, brother. How are you?
How you getting ready to rock and roll?
Well, it's getting ramped up, man. We got some time ahead of us, but the excitement is coming. Of course, the Olympia, these productions here, kind of get you in the mindset. The competitions, we just had one last week here in Oklahoma. So, the season's getting started, man, and I'm getting excited. So it's time to go get in the trenches and get some things worked out.
Those are 2 magic words, Brandon. And still?
And still is the word of the year. And still is the word of the year. Yes, sir.
Now, technically, I could say and new because you would be the new Olympia champion.
Yeah.
Of course, anybody would be.
Exactly.
And still, I think you got to make some shirts, bro.
Hey, look at this guy. He's good.
You got a target on anybody, man? Yeah, you hoping anybody comes out of retirement?
I think the target is on me. That's the thing.
Listen, you're
The target is on me. If they come, if they don't come, the target is still going to be on me. They're trying to take me out.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's keep it real here, man. You have to be hoping.
Well,
Sean Roden gets back. Heath comes back out of retirement. Kai Green, God knows where he is.
As an athlete, as a fan of the sport, and as a competitor myself, of course you want to compete against guys that are going to up your game, up your level. So, with that excitement and that possibility, that just creates a stir and an intensity inside yourself. Well, you got to step up to the plate, man. You can't come up to the stage slacking with these guys. So it's
Dexter's coming to talk smack. I mean, listen, he's the most vocal guy on that stage. I'm close enough I can hear you guys, so it never stops.
Yeah.
When you guys turn around and hit a back shot, that mouth starts going.
Well, Dexter doesn't even have to talk to you, really. He'll look at you a certain way, and you're like, oh, come on, man, And it's the start of the competitive right there. So that's one thing I like about Dexter, man. He's always had to be competitive. And that's what drives him. That's what kept him in the industry so long. So
listen, he can't be any more motivated than he is right now. I mean, this is it for him. Last Olympia, going out. If he goes out with that Olympia title, that makes his day, man. That's it.
We're gonna sit him out gracefully, We're gonna sit him out gracefully.
Second down, you're good. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna sit him out gracefully. He's gonna go out. He's gonna go out with pride, like he should, as a legend that he is. That he is. But I've been a fan of Dexter, man, and I've been chasing him, it seems like, most of my career. And just to see the fact that he's at his last Olympia, it's kind of sad for me, but man, what a career, what a career.
Yeah, listen, you can't say enough about Dex, but listen, you got your hands full, ain't just Dex. You got Big Robbie coming back. You got Bonac, who's one of the most consistent guys always showing up. Can he put anything out on that table that you worry about or not?
You know what? Bonac is number one priority right now, because that's regardless of anything else. We know he's going to come to the stage. We know he's going to bring it. He's focused. So, right now in the realistic terms, before anybody else has claimed that they're coming or not, I got to focus on him. He's number one, because, like you said, we've been tit for tat here. He's been second to me last year. Second to me at the Arnold. He won the Arnold last year. So it's a competitive nature. We push each other.
How about Japan?
It's if he makes it into the U.S., he's coming with a vengeance. If he's able to make it over here in these conditions, it's one of the guys you can't count out. We got to prepare for him to hit the stage no matter what. We know he's preparing. Now, if they let him come over or not, he's going to be ready. He's going to be ready at home, showing his pictures up if he can't get out of the country, or he's going to be ready on the Olympic stage. We know that for sure.
Hey, Bob, a lot of people want to know, how much does Brandon weigh right now? You look like a monster.
Well, it's a good camera angle. I don't weigh a lot right now.
It's the camera angle.
I'm maybe in the 260s range right now. I'm not heavy right now, but my off season has not really got to where it needs to be quite now. We got a little time on our hands, and the thing is, you got to pace yourself, guys. But y'all go ahead, and.
Listen, how much you got to weigh to be an Olympian champion?
You know how much you got to weigh. It's not about how you weigh.
When's the scale around?
But fortunately for me, it's the illusion of bodybuilding that's always worked in my favor in my career. So
always the illusion. There's no scale on stage. There's no bench press on stage.
No scale
Not
on
that
stage.
I've seen.
No bench press on stage. But what we do have is sweet muscle bellies, streamlined waist, tiny joints, and we're gonna up that performance this year as well.
Do you know how big your arms are, Brandon?
I get that question all the time. Now, I haven't measured them since they hit 21, and that was like 2007. I thought they hit 21. I take that back. When they measure my suits, when they measure for my suits, that's not a true bodybuilding. Flexing measurement, but we're just relaxed there toward they're at least 21 around, just with no pump. So I know they're at least around 21 with a pump. They're probably a little bit bigger, but that's. What is that? What is that really? What's that really take? As long as they look good, that's all that really matters.
Here's a question,
Well, I just
Brandon.
happen to have a ruler right here.
Here's a question. They want to know, who's your favorite bodybuilder ever of all time?
Man, that's hard. That's
Sorry,
hard.
Bob.
And he asks me this all the time. How do you pick?
That's a hard question. I admire so many great athletes for so many different things. You think of just pure dominance coming out of nowhere. This is classic. You think of Ronnie Coleman. You think of God-given talent. You think of Flex Wheeler, you know what I'm saying? You think of performance,
Yeah.
but you think of none other than yourself, Sean Ray, you know what I'm saying? So it's so many guys that you can pull from and you can admire in this sport. I think if you just center yourself around one person, you're missing out on the spectrum of what this sport is all about.
What do you think barring yourself, of course, out of all the Olympian champions, who had the least amount of weaknesses?
The least amount.
The least amount of weaknesses. Who's the most complete Mr. Olympia? I've got a name in mind.
Well, there's only 15 of them.
There's only 15.
Narrow it down.
If we're just thinking of just muscle-wise.
Just pure physique.
Pure muscle-wise.
Who's missing the least when it comes to it?
Missing-wise, muscle-wise. Man, that's got to be... I'm going to put Phil in that spectrum.
Good pick, buddy.
Phil is very, 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 very complete. Everybody says he's a little narrow, but he definitely is a complete bodybuilder.
That's where I was going. I'm going Phil Heath.
I think, Phil's one of the most complete bodybuilders, not really missing anything.
Gift.
Ronnie was pretty complete as well, especially, before he, started chasing size.
Yeah, right.
But there's a lot of, what was Dorian really missing? Besides when he
Depends on what year, yeah.
If
you're asking Sean, he's missing a whole bunch of things.
Just a whole bunch of things.
Sean's missing a sandout.
It's semantics really.
Too.
It's what you like, what you prefer. But there's a lot of complete guys, man.
I got to put Jay Cutler up there too.
I was thinking of Jay too.
Honestly, listen, you can make a case for anything. Waist can be a little small. We can pick. But when you go pure, like if he's missing anything, the answer's no.
Brandon, chicken or beef?
Chicken or beef?
Beef.
Yeah, beef, definitely beef.
I was trying to read some of the questions.
Brandon, tighty whities or are we getting what the briefs or
boxer briefs?
Boxers.
Boxer briefs. Are you a fish eater? Do you eat much fish for your protein?
Yeah, I like fish, especially in those final phases. When your calories get, try to drop those calories down. It's just easy just to switch to fish, and you instantly got a calorie decrease and a fat decrease as well.
Oh, speaking of calories, how many calories a day do you eat? Do you know?
I don't know particularly. We fluctuate with the carb consumption. That's what we do. So basically by weight is what we do. typically transition. Protein pretty much stays the same, and we adjust the carbohydrate intake. And then when we get a little bit of flat, we get more fullness, we'll play with the fats a little bit. So,
Brandon, what exercises do you stay away from? We were actually talking a little bit of shop last night when we were eating. Are there things you actually don't do at this stage of your career?
yeah, I stay away from ego lifts. Things that cause you to storytell.
Sure.
So how much you deadlift, how much do you bench press, how much do you squat. I stay away from those.
What do you bench?
At least in I won't lead the workout with those. If I'm going to do any of those compound exercises where the poundage is real heavy, I'm going to make sure I'm nice and fatigued,
Sure.
nice and warmed up. I'll play some maybe towards the end where they're not gonna call on my ego to try to just lift the heavy weight.
Hey Bob, here's one. Are you guys practicing social safe distancing right now?
No.
Brandon, here's one from Julie. What lesson do you want your kids to take away from your bodybuilding from? Is there a message in your career that you want your kids to learn from what you've accomplished and what you're working on?
Sure. I mean, it's we've all been given just natural gifts and talents. In those natural gifts and talents, that's where we find our purpose. Our God-given purpose is in those things that we didn't really control, but we shine in. So I always tell them, wherever you shine in, wherever you find that purpose in, you pursue that hardcore. But realize when you make your mind up and you go after that, that's when the battle starts. That's when the challenge starts, and that's when you have to realize, okay, it's up to me to pursue this and not quit. It's up to me to persevere through all the difficult times, all the hard times. And that's what I want to push to my kids. Anything that you want to pursue in life, any greatness that you're going to be defined by, is going to come with challenge. It's going to come with the battle. So once you make that mind up, get ready. Get ready for war. Get ready for the hard times. Get ready for the opposition. Because if you're not facing that in any challenge, it's not really a challenge. It's not worth pursuing.
Bob, you got the final word. Mr. Olympia's got to get ready for his workout. You got to catch a plane.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Social distancing notwithstanding, but listen, all I can say is good luck. You got an extra 3 months. Olympia's in December for the first time in history this year.
First time.
If I'm giving you one bit of advice, my friend, which would always be the right advice, don't reinvent the wheel, man.
Hey, that's great advice.
I don't know. Whatever you did last year seemed to be enough, right?
That's great advice. I mean, it's a little bit at a time. It's a little bit at a time. You go after what we're going to do this year is we're going to go after, making sure we bring that package to the stage really, really crisp. You know what I'm saying? Really, really crisp. We don't have to do anything necessarily new. The body's maturing year by year on its own. And that's kind of what people have been seeing over the years. That maturity, those years of training, compounding over and over again. So we just continue to push and continue to just bring in that package, but we don't want to be stupid. Because the last thing you want to do is do something crazy and then, ruin the whole process.
All right, Bob, where can we get the tickets to watch this event go down? It's December 16th to the 20th.
Oh, where can everybody get the ticket? MrOlympia.com, of course. Let me tell you, VIPs are already almost sold out. So we're at different places here, Planet Hollywood, Zappos Theater. The theater setup is absolutely outstanding. It's not an arena. Obviously, the arena's got it's good and it's bad. There's not a bad seat in the house, man. And theater-style setup. You know what that means?
Yes.
Better lighting.
Better lighting. Better lighting.
Listen, it's hard to get good lighting in a big, giant facility. You know what I mean? A theater is made for body. Oh, hang on. Here's a message. Phil Heath, tell Brandon I said he's got no shit in business being on my stage.
Whoa, shots fired.
Oh.
Show him the gun show as we get out of here.
I don't know.
Well, Phil, I've just say,
Phil Heath?
I've been wanting to battle with you for a long time.
He's calling him out.
Long time. So if you're ready to come to the stage, man, I'm all for it.
Is that an open invitation? He doesn't have to qualify?
Hey, he don't have to qualify. He already won. What are you going to qualify for?
So he has an invitation.
He's got an invitation.
Lifetime invite, man.
It would be an honor. It would be an honor to stand on stage with Phil Heath and battle it out, man. It'd be an honor. Me as a fan of bodybuilding and as the fans of bodybuilding, we want that.
There it is.
Says there's nothing wrong with being a one-time champ.
Oh!
Hey, and he's right.
No, he's wrong. You got to be a two-time champ.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But remember, hey, I expect you, if anybody, to come to the stage. It'd be an honor if you make me a one-time champ.
All right, there it is.
You heard it from the champ. And still, the two words Brandon Curry's looking forward to the most after a 5-minute delay on stage. At least.
Nice. All right.